This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
1, 2, 3. Lovely.
Good evening, everyone, and a Happy New Year, and welcome to our first show of 2021. This is the Maastricht edition, and tonight we'll be talking to Kai Jonas from Maastricht University, and we'll also have a lot of fun and games as usual. So, hi everyone!
Hello.
Yay! Hello! Welcome to the Maastricht edition, and Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
We are back, and we are so sorry that we weren't here last year as planned, but well, these things happen. We started the new year off as we planned to go on. Things falling apart.
Oh,
It's supposed to be different this year, Tracy.
Oh, there you go. Well, maybe we've had such a year in 2020, a little bit spilled over into the start of 21.
Yeah, maybe it is.
We'll make up for it from here on in. So, but thank you to everyone who sent us messages that you missed us last week. It was nice to be missed. So that's
it was nice to be missed. We were feeling the love, definitely feeling the love. So, well, we've started off the new year with some snow. Matt, how are you getting on with the snow?
I haven't had any, just frost.
You haven't had any?
No, we might get some on Sunday, but I've not had any myself yet.
Okay, well, it was in the news that your neighbours were travelling down towards the Maastricht region to have a look at the snow that we had last week, and things were getting a little bit congested in Maastricht and Valkenburg and Vals and all round that particular area. So you didn't make the trip then, Matt?
No, I don't have a car, so I was stuck here. It was freezing though up here, but there was no snow.
Oh. Well, it's going to be all warm and cuddly here on the show this evening. We've got we're back. We've got all our usual fun and games that will be going on. We've got This Day in History. We've got Titty Bitties. Matt's got a game for us this evening. Tracy will be very pleased about this because we love to see Tracy in a quiz or a game.
I could have my own show. just a quiz night.
I think it's YouTube channel battles. So yes, we call that. And we've got Professor Kai Jonas, who's going to be joining us this evening, who's going to be talking about an HIV cross-border prevention program study.
Well done. Good job, Joe. Wow. When you were saying that, I was just thinking, I wonder if he's related to the Jonas brothers, but that's probably right.
You would love that.
I would love that. Yes, I would. Let's ask him.
So Sylvina's in the house. Hello, Sylvina. Happy New Year. Lovely that you are with us this evening. Anybody else out there who wants to join us this evening? There's a rumour we might be talking about cheese tonight as well throughout the programme because, as you know, we usually have a bit of a theme going on, and all of us here on the Maastricht edition, we like a bit of cheese. I have a little tradition actually after every show. I like to have a bit of a cheese board on the go and a little glass of wine. So, if I'm honest, I find it very hard to eat cheese without drinking a glass of wine. So I try not to eat cheese first thing in the morning because otherwise it all goes horribly wrong for the rest of the day. But Matt, would you say you're a big cheese fan?
I would. We had a cheese fondue for New Year's Eve. That was our celebration.
Lovely. And what sort of cheese would you have in your fondue?
What did we have? We made a Dutch cheese fondue. So it was like oude kaas and a belegen kaas. You have to mix the two different ones.
Okay.
With wine. Or sometimes we go for the Swiss version.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we're very fortunate and have a big glut of cheddar, we can have a cheddar version. That's very
yes. And we'll be more rare now.
I know, it's so sad.
Oh, Tracy, you slipped that one in a bit quick, didn't you?
I'm sorry, and it's the first show of the new year. Guys, what is going on? Ham sandwiches being blocked at the border? No more cheese?
Or crunchy nut.
Yes,
no food.
Brexit is well and truly upon us. And there'll be some little treats that normally our friends and loved ones would bring over from the UK and Ireland when they come to visit. and now it's all on Ireland. It's only, so such a
pressure is on. If I ever get back to Ireland, I'll take a second suitcase and stock up for both of you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Suitcase. I thought you were going to hire a van. I mean, come on.
Good Lord, woman. I've got extra.
As far as cheese is concerned, are there actually any Irish cheeses, Tracy?
Oh, well, we do. In my local village, they do make cheese. They have a Durris cheese, which is the village where I come from, and they also have a Gabine cheese. And these are local cheeses made by hand, actually, with the old-fashioned method. So they're using muslin cloths to sort of squeeze out everything, and they've got old wooden presses that they sort of twist and turn. So it's kind of, but there are some, but on the international stage, it wouldn't be anything like, Cheddars and Wensleydales and Edam and things like that. But locally, we would have some Irish cheeses that you can get. And you can buy Irish cheddar. There is Irish cheddar out there.
That's what you normally get in like Lidl and Aldi. It's normally Irish cheddar.
An Irish one, yes. So there are a couple. Yeah.
So, but do you have a favourite at all? I mean, what's your go-to cheese, Tracy?
My go-to cheese. Well, first of all, I'm rather cheesy anyway, so it would stand to reason that I like a bit of cheese. It really depends. I love a good crumbly cheddar, because that's just wonderful. I like a bit of brie. I like a baked camembert. It's very nice. I love a bit of. I know, a bit of Roquefort is very nice. I quite like a stinky cheese as well. So there isn't really one I found yet that I don't like. I did have one once, oddly enough, that had Guinness in it, and that one I didn't like very much, which seemed a bit shocking, actually. Yes. But I know, but I tend to. Mozzarella is also very nice if you know that kind of. Anything really. I like a bit of everything.
Well, I think we're very fortunate here where we live, because, of course, being on the border with France, Belgium, Germany, we've got a really good mix of cheeses here, and I do remember actually my birthday last year. I had a cheese and wine evening for my birthday.
I remember.
She remembers it well. Which for me, I mean, that I am in my happy place where all I've got is a table full of different cheeses and some nice breads and biscuits, and as I said, a couple of or several bottles of wine on the go. And for me, it's I'd find it hard to be vegan and live without decent cheese. I really would. I really would.
Well, that is the thing at the moment, because it's Veganuary, isn't it? Veganuary, and a lot of people are going. Vegan. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the January vegan thing.
Yeah.
Veganuary, maybe. Okay. Anyway, meanwhile, it's the end of the show. Good night. Waffling on about cheese, but yeah, I agree.
Then please do get in touch. First of all, we want to know how to pronounce Veganuary, Veganuary, or whatever my colleagues are talking about, because I haven't got a clue. And also maybe enlighten us, educate us on some decent vegan cheese. If it's out there, I challenge you vegans out there to produce some decent vegan cheese for us that we would like to sample, because I'm not convinced at the moment. I'm definitely not convinced. And of course, sorry?
You
can make it from cashew nuts.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, moving swiftly on.
I would just before we move on, before I forget, I want to give a shout out to a very special someone in the US of A who's watching us at the moment.
Oh, would that be our Jason?
It would be our Jason. He's got us on the big screen. It's very cool.
Excellent. Excellent.
Hi, Patty.
Oh my goodness, he'll be able to see everything if we're on the big screen.
Thanks to my. Joe. And we're all beautifully lit up because we got some things from Santa Claus this year. So
Yes, Santa was kind to us. He was kind to us.
So
before we get to that time of the evening when we kind of chill out a little bit. First of all, I want to say Caroline's in the house. Good evening, Caroline. Lovely to have you with us. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And I think it's probably time that we find out what Matt has to say about the last album that we got him to review, because it's at this point of the show that we have given Matt an album. He has a week to listen, try it out, give us his thoughts. But of course, it was a bit of a while ago, and I believe, Tracy, you gave him the last album to review. Am I right?
No, you're not right, Joe. It was yours. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, that's so mean. No, it was me. It was me. I thought you would be confused.
But really, it wouldn't be surprising. Me and my menopausal brain. I mean, honestly, I haven't got what's going on.
No, indeed. It was my choice last time, and I chose for Matthew the album Elephant from the White Stripes.
That was it, yes. And I'm very interested to hear what Matt has to say about this. Where were you, Matt, when you were listening to this album?
I was eating my dinner.
A long meal?
Well, part of it. I'm most of the eating.
This is an album that you listen to while you're eating, but I may be wrong.
No, it was good. Like, we like to relax when eating dinner, like to take it slow, chill out before and after. So there's plenty of time. It was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was good. I thought it was quite like a good mix of songs. They had like some of them were like really like headbanger songs,
yes.
Which I thought was quite good during this lockdown. We were a bit frustrated maybe, and you're like, ugh. So exactly. And then it has like calmer songs, so you could like chill down a bit after the rocking. You're like, okay, and then it goes back up again, and you're like, and then back down again. So.
Oh my goodness! What a roller coaster it was.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like it. We shall find out. But I couldn't quite work out why it was called Elephant. I missed out on that one. But I wrote some notes this time.
Oh God! Oh Joe! New year, new Matt. Look at this.
I always forget. Otherwise, there's a problem. So I learned that they're husband and ex-wife, apparently.
Well, really?
But then someone asked me, aren't they brother and sister? So I don't know. Just what I
know. Exactly. I don't think it's actually been definitely confirmed what their relationship is or was.
That's the mystery.
An enigma.
Yeah.
The elephant
That's
in the
room. That's what's going to be called, enigma, not elephant.
Yeah, well done, Joe. You see, that Matt made a joke. He said the elephant in the room.
Ah.
Yeah, it's very good.
You know you've got a good joke when someone goes, yeah. One.
Oh dear.
I wrote down that my favourite song was the first one, which was Seven Nation Army. And apparently, I looked it up, that they were planning for that to be a Bond theme tune, but it never actually happened.
Oh, well, it's a movie is poorer for it. It would be a good Bond theme.
And he did go on to write another Bond theme.
He did. Just Jack White himself, I think. Yeah.
Well, it was Jack White and... Oh, I've forgotten her name.
Not to worry.
No, forgot her name. Anyway. So, okay then, Matt. So, how many Mats out of 10 for this one?
Ooh.
I think I would give it an 8.
Oh, really?
I could count 9 there. 8.
I'm not sure how to
is that, Matt?
This is 8 fingers.
8 fingers.
Sure.
I've got one massive hand in this.
A little 3. Okay, 8 it is. Well, that's not bad at all. Not bad.
That's very good. That's very good. And actually, that's a lot higher than I thought you were going to give it, Matt. I was pleasantly surprised. Yes, I thought maybe it might have been a bit too heavy for our Matt.
I think our Matt's got a rocky sound.
Yeah. I discovered a new artist this week. I've been musical. I've been listening to Young Blood. Do you know Young Blood?
Oh, yes.
Really good.
I think he's quite a colourful character, isn't he?
He is, yeah. That's how I discovered him.
Yeah, he's interviewed last week on Graham Norton, actually. He seems like a very nice young man.
Yeah, he's very diverse character. Very
Yes.
open to new ideas.
That's cool. Okay.
Cool.
Well, being open to new ideas, I suppose I better give you an album to review for next week. So, I have been digging into my vaults, and I have come up with a classic. And the classic comes from 1977 by a young singer, songwriter, piano man by the name of Billy Joel.
Okay.
And the album is The Stranger. And this is, for me, I think it's probably one of his best albums. It's very diverse. It's got a lot of things going on. I love Billy Joel. I think the man is an absolute genius. How much do you know about Billy Joel, Matt?
Nothing.
Excellent. This is good. So I will send you a picture, but it's called The Stranger. It's Billy Joel, and you can. Yeah, do you know what? It's not too heavy. It's quite chilly. It's it's one for when you're cooking or when you're actually eating after you've done the cooking. You won't get indigestion from this one, I don't believe. But it's I think it's a great album, so I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. Tracy, are you familiar with Billy Joel?
I am familiar with him, actually. I know a number of his songs. I don't know the album, but I'm sure I would know the songs if I heard them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, there's a couple of hits on there. There is a couple of hits on there, but this is another one of those singer-songwriters who create stories. Fantastic lyricist. So yeah, if you get the opportunity to actually sit and listen, then that would be great. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this one. So there you go. So that's your album for next week. Now, people out there in Maastricht, we are going to be talking later on to Professor Kai Jonas. We are also going to be mentioning later on in the show a new photo competition. Now, for those of you who have been following the Maastricht edition for some time, you know that we like to host a little photo competition whereby you can give us a photo of Maastricht in all its glory at different times of the year, and we choose a winner from the photo competition, and that will become our banner, our header that we put onto our Facebook page and onto our website. So the rules are, well, it's quite simple. We do not want portrait, we want landscape. Are you with me, people? Not portrait, landscape. Okay, Matt, you carry on like that, you're going to have a 747 landing on your ceiling. Come on. So we're voguing. So please send us. You can send us up.
Cabin crew.
Tracy, you're regressing.
Yes. Carry on. But yes, photo comp time, always very exciting.
We love it when people are sending in their photos to us. So please do send us in your photos of not portrait, landscape. You can send up to 3 photos in. And we know you're not out and about so much in Maastricht, but you know what? On the odd times that you're going out for that little cheeky walk with the dog, you may see some beautiful winter-like landscapes that capture Maastricht perfectly at this time of the year. I know our Tracy, she likes to go out taking photos, and she posts regularly, every day, on her Instagram page, some beautiful pictures of Maastricht. So we know that they're out there. So please do send us in your photos. By Valentine's Day.
Ooh, that is Sunday, the 14th of February, people.
Is it Sunday, the 14th of February? So get those in by Valentine's Day, and we shall announce the winner on the following show, and it's going to be a random pick. We'll pick maybe 5 or 6 of our favourites, and then we'll go to the judges. And we'll pick our favourite, and you will be blasted all over our social media. You'll be the head of our Facebook page. You'll be the head of our website, and you get to the crowning glory of being the Maastricht edition photo winner. That's as far as the prize goes. We would love to say, under normal circumstances, of course, that we would invite you into the studio. That's what's normally been going on, but you're not going to be invited anywhere this time. So you'll just have the glory of being the winner.
Well, if you've got a Skype ID, you could say hello on the show. You know.
Of course. Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll talk to anybody.
Oh, yes. No disrespect to any of our guests.
And we will be talking to Professor Kai Jonas very shortly. He'll be coming up after the news. But in the meantime, I think it's probably a good time to chill out a little bit, don't you think? Maybe relax.
I'm ready to go.
Get a bit zen-like. So this is the time when the whole of Maastricht comes to a grinding halt. We put our feet up, we relax, we've got the kettle on, we're all very, very zen.
Look at Maastricht.
Yeah, we've got some omming going on because it is time for this. 2021 hasn't got any better, has it?
Oh dear.
Today it's Thursday, the 14th of January, and on this very day in 1690, the musical instrument, the clarinet, is invented in Nuremberg, Germany. Now, I have never ever played a clarinet. I have played a recorder when I was at school. Came in very, very useful, apart from the fact that, no, I have never played a recorder since I was at school. But anybody else play the clarinet?
I have played the clarinet once.
Okay.
Trial lesson. It didn't go very well. I never played it again.
Oh dear.
It's because you have to there's a reed in the top of the clarinet, and you have to suck it to make it moist. But that was
Matt.
I found it a bit gross, so I didn't go.
TMI, Matthew, TMI.
Right.
Well, I haven't sucked on any clarinet.
Oh, here we go.
Nor a recorder for that matter. But I have played the tin whistle. I'm so Irish.
That is so Irish. Oh my God.
I can play one tune. One tune.
That'd be the Fiddly-Dee national anthem.
No, it's the dawning of the day. Sure. I mean, for God's sake, woman. And we all had to learn this tune in school, and I can still remember the bloody thing. It's shocking to me because I still have my tin whistle. But it's very strange because with the tin whistle, you play with the 3 middle fingers, and you're supposed to play with the right hand at the bottom and the left hand on the top. But for some reason, I found it easier to play it the other way around. So I kind of learned everything opposite to everybody else. But in any case, the dawning of the day.
So many things, Tracy.
There you are, yes.
In 1794, on this very day, Dr. Jesse Bennett of Eden, Virginia, performs the first successful caesarean section operation in the US on his wife.
Good grief.
I know. She was a very trusting soul, wasn't she? 1878, on this very day, the US Supreme Court rules race separation on trains unconstitutional. That was in 1878. Yeah. In 1918, on the 14th of January, Finland and the USSR adopt the new style Gregorian calendar. And a few years later, in 1938, National Society for the Legalization of Euthanasia forms in New York. In the Netherlands, in 1952, the rationing of coffee ends. And oh boy, have they been making up for it since. They do love a coffee here.
The Dutch do like a coffee, but apparently the Finns are the biggest coffee drinkers per capita in the world.
Oh, does that tie in with the fact that they're also the biggest beer drinkers as well?
Possibly. They tend to just like beverages, it seems.
or maybe one is a cure for the hangover of the other. I don't know.
But also, key piss to all our Finnish viewers.
In 1960, on this very day, the US Army promotes Elvis Presley to sergeant. Now, I have to say that Elvis Presley in a uniform, oh my goodness, he was a handsome bugger. He really was. Oh.
Steady yourself here.
Those army years, he was lush. He was lush.
Was he? Was he lush, lass?
He was lush. Also, in the very same year, the Reserve Bank of Australia was established. In 1966, on the 14th of January, David Bowie releases his first single, Can't Help Thinking About Me. And in 1972, the first Queen of Denmark since 1412 was coronated, Margaret II. So since 1412, that's a long time since they had a girlie in charge of things on the throne. That's like 300 odd years. That's a long time. 1973, the dancer Roy Castle is measured performing 1,440 taps per minute on BBC TV. So for those out there who don't actually understand what that means, this is tap dancing. So when you are tap dancing, a single tap is when you literally tap your foot on the ground. And he was able to do 1,440 in a minute.
Wow.
That's considerable. Now, am I right, Tracy, that in Irish dancing they do a bit of tap?
Well, it's not really tap dancing, but it's indeed Irish traditional Ceilidh dancing. There is an element of a tap-like movement, yes.
Because Lord of the Dance, of course, which was huge, I don't for many years. I don't know if it's still going at all.
Still going.
Yes. Probably is. There you go. But of course, anybody who's ever been to one of those gigs, my God, it's a noisy affair.
It's quite noisy and quite heavy going, I think, as well. But I think it is a form of tap dancing, but this is more of a, bless you, Matthew, a more of a traditional part of the Irish dance. And of course, the Lord of the Dance, Michael Flatley, made that world famous, didn't he?
He did. Now, here's one you might remember, Tracy. 1976, The Bionic Woman. Do you remember The Bionic Woman?
I remember The Bionic Man. Were they friends?
Well, The Bionic Woman came out after The Bionic Man, actually, with Lindsay Wagner. Her debut was in 1976 on ABC. So, yeah, the success of The Bionic Man led to The Bionic Woman. There was no difference, really. She did exactly the same as he did, but she just did it as a girl.
Did she also have that strange boing kind of sound effect every time he used to...
Yeah.
It was strange television, really, wasn't it? Anyway.
Everything sounded like a porn movie in the 70s.
That's true.
Wow. Pretty much, that's it. In 1994, the Duchess of Kent, which is she I believe is a cousin of the Queen. She converts to Catholicism, the first member of the royal family to do so in more than 300 years. I bet that went down well.
I'll tell you. Interesting.
In 2002, the UK declared itself free of foot and mouth cattle disease. And in 2019, the US President Donald Trump denies he is a Russian agent after the New York Times article states the FBI started an investigation and the Washington Post raised issues over a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, with any luck, in the next few days, hopefully, we'll have heard the last of that young man. My goodness, that's just one of many stories, of course. He's not going to disappear quietly into the night, is he? But yes, that was him in 2019. Now, we've got some birthdays going on. I'm going to take you back to 83 BC. Mark Antony was born, the Roman politician and general. He was born in Rome. In 1941, Faye Dunaway, the American actress, she was born in Florida. LL Cool J, the rapper, he was born in 1968. And here's a very special one for me.
Oh.
In 1969, an American drummer, stroke guitarist, stroke singer-songwriter of Nirvana and Foo Fighters fame was born in Warren, Ohio. The lovely Dave Grohl. Oh, I don't know who's watching. So happy birthday, Dave. I hope you're having a lovely day.
Call me.
And a quick shout out also. Mark Lee wants to say happy birthday to Paul. It's going to be his birthday on the 16th of January. Andrea Norton's going to be 17. No, she's going to have her birthday on the 17th of January. And big hugs from Mandy. And anybody else out there who is having a birthday, it's either today or in the coming days. Happy birthday. Hope you're having a lovely day.
Happy birthday.
Was celebrating it. And that was This Day in History.
Well done, darling.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, last week, as we weren't here, wasn't able to do This Day in History on air, but there is a little video out there. So if you missed us last week, I did a little video of This Day in History for last week, which, of course, is going to be out of date for this week. But if you want to see it, you'll see me getting dressed up. I'm going to leave it at that.
I think you should, yeah. Don't give it all away, Joe. But it's well worth a watch. I particularly like the tennis one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just
We
me.
should do it like that every week.
Oh, yeah, right.
I just record video clips, you know.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys.
That's a compliment.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very sweet of you. Yes, I don't know how. I think I'd start running out of props after about 3 or 4 weeks. But anyway, it's out there. Alison's in the house. Hello, Alison.
Hello.
She's in the UK in tier 27 or whatever it is that they're in the UK. So she's got nothing else to do apart from tune into the show, of course.
That's really bad sign, isn't it? You've been reduced to tuning into us. Good Lord.
Yes, we've got so many viewers from the UK at the moment because they're all in these in tiers. They literally are in tiers. So,
indeed.
They're tuning into us. Well, we're going to lighten the mood a little bit because I think it's time for the news. Don't you think, Tracy?
Oh, well, I'm not sure the news is going to bring any joy to anyone, really, Joe. It's all COVID Brexit. But anyway,
it was around the corner.
Let's see. I'll read it all in an upbeat mood.
Tracy Taylor with the news.
Thank you, Joe, and good evening, everyone. It's January 14th, and you're watching the Maastricht Edition on Facebook Live. First, a look at your weekend weather, and it will stay dry and cold the coming days, with highs of just 2 degrees in the daytime and temperatures dipping below freezing at night. Some light snow is expected to fall as of Saturday afternoon, especially on higher ground. Moving to your news bulletin for tonight. A large portion of the Dutch government is still against the idea of implementing a curfew in an attempt to curb the spread of the coronavirus. In a parliamentary debate earlier this week, Prime Minister Mark Rutte said that a curfew might be necessary. The curfew would be expected to keep people in their homes between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m., with only absolutely necessary movements allowed during that time. The lockdown in the Netherlands has been extended until at least February 19th, amid concerns about the new variant of the disease first detected in the UK. And travellers from the United Kingdom, Ireland and South Africa who come to the Netherlands by plane or ferry must have a negative rapid test taken immediately before departure. This test is in addition to the already compulsory negative PCR test 72 hours before arrival. Bookstores in the Netherlands want to reopen their doors as soon as possible and to have their shops recognised as essential stores, which is already the case in neighbouring Germany and Belgium. In other news, climate activist Greta Thunberg is set to feature on a set of stamps issued by Sweden's Postal Service. The stamps went on sale in Sweden today and show Miss Thunberg in her familiar yellow raincoat standing on a rocky coast looking out at a flock of birds. And a majority of the House of Representatives has voted to make Donald Trump the first U.S. president to be impeached twice, formally charging him with inciting an insurrection just a week after a violent mob of his supporters stormed the Capitol. The vote in the Democratic-controlled House was 232 to 197, with 10 Republicans joining Democrats in backing the impeachment. And Lady Gaga and Jennifer Lopez are to perform at the inauguration ceremony for incoming US President Joe Biden. Lady Gaga will sing the national anthem at the ceremony on January 20th, and Jennifer Lopez will give a separate musical performance. After the ceremony, Tom Hanks is set to host a star-studded 90-minute televised program called Celebrating America. And finally tonight, a South Korean startup has developed an AI-powered dog collar that can apparently detect 5 emotions in canines by monitoring their barks. The designers claim that the Pet Pulse collar can tell pet owners through a smartphone application if their dogs are happy, relaxed, anxious, angry, or sad. Sounds awesome. And that's it for tonight. For more local news, you can follow RTV News in English on Facebook and Instagram. If you are a local business, be sure to check out the Support Your Local Business South Limburg Facebook page, a joint initiative between #Maastricht and the Maastricht Edition. And if you want to discover events, concerts and cultural activities going on in Maastricht and the surrounding areas, head on over to the website of our partner, maastrichter.com, to check out their awesome calendar of events. You can also follow them on social media. Of course, COVID-19 restrictions apply. And don't forget that you can always find us on the Maastricht Edition Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on Redbubble and on Instagram. For all the details, check out themaastrichtedition.nl.
Lovely jubbly. Well done, Al Tracy.
Thank you, darling.
So, this dog collar, seriously.
Well, there you go. Talk to the South Koreans.
No.
There's another one. Ooh, well done, Matthew. I like your style.
See, yeah, well, but there's some people who've just got too much time on their hands, haven't they? I mean, really.
We all do at the moment.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, indeed. Well, AI, I mean, you never know what they could develop. So it's very, it's quite interesting. Who knows? So apparently it's even going on sale sometime later this year.
There's going to be a huge market for it. Absolutely massive. There's some very nutty dog owners out there who will just buy all kinds of for their pets. I mean, really. So we've had a question.
Yeah.
Is vegan cheese made from breast milk?
Ooh, yeah. That's quite a good one. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that's the question that's come in. So for those of you who are sorry.
Maybe if it's your own breast milk, then it's vegan.
Where are you going to get that from, Matt?
Well, obviously you'd have to be female or be able to produce your own milk, but I don't know.
God.
Eat your own thing. Is it? I don't know.
No. So the cheese debate goes on. We were talking about cheese earlier. We were asking people out there, what's your favourite cheese? And would you eat vegan cheese? What is vegan cheese? Can you find a decent vegan cheese? And now the question is vegan cheese made from breast milk? Well, if anybody out there can enlighten us.
About breast milk that in the Netherlands, women who'd had COVID and produced antibodies, they took their breast milk and made lollipops from it and gave it to older people.
Well, I tell you somebody who might actually know about vegan cheese, possibly, because we've got a professor in the house. Professor Kai Jones is here. Good evening and welcome to the Maastricht Edition.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Hello.
Hello.
Now, we're going to find out a bit about you and why you're on the show. But first of all, let's talk cheese. Are you a cheese fan?
I'm a cheese fan.
Do you have a favourite cheese?
I do, but I don't know its name. I think it's a goat cheese, and it's a bit grey on the outside. And all my non-cheese friends, they always go like, "That's yucky. Why do you eat this?"
Well, I do like a bit of goat cheese. I must admit. But do you know anything about vegan cheese?
I had vegan cheese several times at vegan restaurants, and
Okay.
and then I find them really, really interesting. I remember I also had a vegan cheese fondue, which was made out of cashew nuts.
That's it. Was it
Matt,
good?
there
It was
you
good.
go. He's legitimised exactly what you were saying earlier. You see, so we can move on from the breast milk debate, possibly, for as far as vegan cheese is concerned, and maybe go down the cashew nut avenue. So yeah, okay.
Indeed.
I think this could be an ongoing thing over the next coming weeks. We'll
Oh,
endeavour
God
to
help
find
us
some
all.
vegan cheese.
This discussion makes me want to stop with dry January immediately. So.
Hold on, what was it called? Veganuary or something? Yeah.
January.
Veganuary.
Yeah.
Let's
Pish.
posh.
Let's move on. We've got Professor Kai Jonas in the house. It's lovely for you to join us this evening. You're here to talk about the HIV cross-border prevention program study. I think I got that right.
Yeah,
but
perfect.
before we go down that route, we'd love to hear a bit more about you. We understand that you have been working in various parts of the globe, but how have you actually got to where you are now, which I believe is in Maastricht? Well, how have you become a professor? Why are you in this field? Let's have everything, but not starting from when you were 3 years old.
Okay, let me. How did I end up in Maastricht? It was a rainy day in Hong Kong, and I was cramming in a cafe, avoiding the rains, and I got a call from Maastricht, and they said, we actually would like to offer you the job. And so I was there with my laptop on my hands, lots of people around me, and I was like, great, I love it.
Oh, is that easy, was it?
Well, it was that easy. I also did a job interview before, and I was in Bangkok for the job interview, and I was actually sort of a prelude to the Corona times. I was properly dressed up here, and in shorts and flip flops downwards because it was 35 degrees or something like that.
You don't want to know what Matt's wearing. I mean, we can see that he's got a jumper, but yeah, there's other stuff going on below. So, look, I have to be honest with you. When people start talking about HIV, certainly because of my age, I mean, this throws me back to the 80s, and it was a huge thing when HIV exploded into the news. Everybody was talking about this gay disease. There was fake news in abundance all over the place at that time. And then we had a few years where the reality of it actually hit. We started actually getting the truth about what HIV was all about. And then it seemed to me we didn't hear anything more about HIV. Now, I don't believe that it's disappeared. I don't believe that it's gone. But why aren't people talking about it anymore?
Well, people are still talking about it, but it has definitely left mainstream conversations in the society, which is actually sad and problematic because there are lots of topics that we still need to talk about. And also that is a privilege and a luxury position here of Western European or Northern European countries. My work in Southeast Asia and also in Sub-Saharan Africa, HIV and AIDS is very much a daily topic, and it's really a luxury position. Here we've made amazing progress after like the early 2000s, where we had really highly active antiretroviral medication available. HIV turned into a chronic condition, and if you take your meds regularly, you will not really or never develop AIDS-related illnesses, and you have a life expectancy like anyone else. And then we have to talk about stigma for people living with HIV, and that's actually a conversation we still need to have because it's very much alive. My colleague Sarah Stutterheim, with her I'm also collaborating on the cross-border project. She does research about that, and the picture is not looking too well for HIV stigma, but that's another story. What happened is that we've been seeing a constant decline of HIV cases in the Netherlands. And what we've reached now, we call it the last 10%. And the last 10% will be as difficult as the first 90%. Because now we have to really look into very small, very specific communities that still have a very high risk of acquiring HIV. And we've seen with the H-team approach in the Randstad, in Amsterdam, in the urban areas in the north, quite a success in bringing HIV infections down. But then if you look at the overall amount of infections in the Netherlands, that means that the regions, the non-urban areas, must be contributing proportionally more to the amount of HIV infections than the urban areas. And that was a call for the AIDS funds in the Netherlands to say, look, we want to bring HIV infections to zero in the Netherlands. What do we need to do? And that's when we pitched this idea of cross-border HIV prevention. Which is a very interesting topic, and I'm happy and thankful that you invited me on the show, and I can tell you a bit more about what we plan to do and then also explain why it is necessary and what makes this so unique here in this region.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to bring Matt in on this because, you know, as a middle-aged heterosexual woman, for me, it's not particularly on my radar. Matt, he's a lot younger, part of the gay community, and I want to ask Matt, is it on your radar? Are you conscious of this?
Yeah, of course. But I think I would say that even within the gay community, the young gay community, I think it depends where you come from, your background, like the media you consume. I think it's still very easy to not be aware of what HIV is, that it's still a thing, that it's still a problem, and which is why we still need these programs, and which is why there's still a lot of emphasis. For example, I read magazines and there's always full-page ads about have you been tested, wear a condom, that sort of thing. So for me, it's very, I'm very aware of it. But I think that's not the case for a lot of people, because just because you're a gay person doesn't mean, okay, you're at higher risk. I'm sure we can talk about that. Doesn't necessarily mean you're more aware of the problems it causes and how at risk you are.
No, what you're saying, Matt, resonates perfectly well with what we see in research, and it goes back to also the silence about HIV infections. You know about the stigma, so you're not talking about it. As a downside of that, a lot of young gay men or men that have sex with men don't know anyone with HIV. And so they think it doesn't exist. And for Joe and myself, the situation was most likely very much different. And you knew someone, maybe a bit more distant, but you knew someone who died of AIDS. Absolutely. So it had a completely different salience. That's one of the reasons. And of course, a lot of young gay men think like, it's treatable. It's just a pill and it's fine. And there is so much more to it. So that's the reason why we still need to do this work. You mentioned HIV testing. It's a really important topic, especially in these Corona days. A lot of the HIV infections that we see in the Netherlands is what we call late presentations. These are actually people that seroconverted, that got infected with HIV a long time ago, and they actually get tested much later, and oftentimes in contexts where they're not really asking for an HIV test, but it's just being done. It happens in routine tests in the hospital before a surgery or something like that. So what we do see is that we are still not reaching everybody that should get tested, and testing campaigns are important. And especially in these Corona days, let me take it right to this. We just ran a study. My PhD student, Lisette Christ, talked about it at a conference not so long ago. We do see that people are actually stopping to get HIV tested, and if they take PrEP, which is a biomedical prevention method, they also stop with the associated tests with that, simply because the mantra from healthcare is we're not doing anything that is not absolutely life-saving. So the non-urgent care is being reduced, and your GP may tell you, is that really necessary? You have to come in for that? We can just wait. And that, of course, sends, as understandable as it is, the completely wrong message. Because people who may have built a habit for testing now disrupt it, and it will be very difficult to get them back. But you asked me about the cross-border project, and maybe that's important to talk about that. So we're looking at the last 10% here. And in Dutch, you can crack a joke about what cross-border means, but this is an English-speaking show. Let's stick with it here. Sex doesn't stop at borders, especially in this region, and you can easily have a date with someone in Belgium 20 minutes away. You can have a date with someone in Germany 30 minutes away. And that, as fun as that may be, the risk profiles, the healthcare systems are very different in these countries, and people may not be aware of it. They just assume that what works here also works everywhere else. But that's not the case. So there is sort of a structural disadvantage that we need to talk about. And the healthcare systems could collaborate much more. So there is also a network approach in our project to bring the players in Belgium, in Germany, and in the Netherlands together around the table so that they can do things a bit more aligned. On top of that, when you're a gay man in Limburg, and I'm not only talking about Maastricht and the students, although that's a very specific group in and of itself, it's more rural. So if you want to have a date, you have to travel further. You have to hop on your motor, your car or your motorbike or whatever you use as transportation, or you even take public transportation. If you don't like the guy, in Amsterdam, you just hop on your bike and say, thanks, dude. You just don't look like the pictures on a dating app, and you just go home and you find someone else. So it's much easier to say no to things that you don't like or you don't want to do. But if you've traveled half an hour to go to your date and then it's maybe not exactly what you want, well, do you turn around and say, thanks, I'm going home, and then you wasted time and money? Or do you stay and do what you maybe don't want to do yourself, but just the circumstances create pressure, and you're engaging in it. And let me end with a last example. We do often do very sort of regionally focused HIV prevention, but this is completely overlooking that we get players on the sort of in the context that are not regional. Maastricht, as you know, has a lot of high-end events, TEFAF, the horse show, the car shows. My office is in Randwijk, and whenever I hear roaring cars coming down the freeway, I know there is a luxury event in the back.
Yeah.
But whenever these events happen, we have an influx of sex workers coming to the city. They come where business is. But they're coming, as we know, oftentimes from Liège, from Brussels, regions where we actually don't do our HIV prevention. So we really need to think outside of the box and understand that HIV risk may come from a different community, from a different source that we are not reaching with the work that we're doing in the Netherlands.
Should we be talking about this in schools?
You know, of course we should talk about this in schools, and it's being done. It's maybe not being done as much as it should be, but there are also limits to it. You know, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of HIV prevention, you have to become very graphic, very detailed.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? It's getting a balance so you don't scare the living daylights out of people.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you tell a 15 or 16-year-old who has fantasies of having sex with a man all the details about anal sex, he would be running out of the classroom screaming. And that's not sort of reaching your aim. So it's also a question of dosing and trying to reach the right population. And so what we want to do in this project is to come up with a low-key social media approach that is really tailored to this context. That means we are going to do it in French, German, Limburgs, Dutch, to really speak the languages that are spoken here, and English, of course, as well for the expat community. We want to have a network approach. There are low-hanging fruits. You know, if you get a partner alert because an STI has been found, you get this in Dutch. And then you go with that thing to your German doctor, and he goes like, what is this? Or vice versa in Belgium. So there are things that can be easily solved, but it has to be done regionally, because we don't need a partner alert in Amsterdam in French. But we need it here.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time, Professor Kai. Before you go, is it possible that local people can get involved with this study? Are you looking for people at all?
Oh, absolutely. We really need the input of local communities, students, people living in Limburg, migrants, refugees. Everyone who feels the need to reach out, please do that. Get in contact with myself. I think that's the easiest way. If you Google Kai Jonas Maastricht, I think I'm the first hit without vanity. And please reach out. We need a community advisory board, and we really want to talk to you guys and get your input in interview studies. So yes, much appreciated.
Okay, well, we'll get all your contact details onto our social media. It's a really interesting subject, and I think this actually got legs. We could probably get you on again and have another chat about it. So we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. We wish you all the best with this study. It'll be interesting. Actually, come back when you've reached the end of the study. We'd love to hear the conclusions for sure.
I will, happy to report back.
Brilliant stuff. It's been lovely to see you. Thank you ever so much. And as I said, we'll get all your contact details on our social media after the show.
Great, amazing.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Interesting stuff. Very interesting.
Indeed.
Yeah,
definitely a chat to chat more with, indeed.
Yeah, there is more going on there. And I think it's I mean, Matt, you of course weren't around in the 80s when this hit, and it hit big, and you know, all of us and there was a lot of fake news then. I mean, this fake news idea is, you know, it's not a recent thing. I remember, you know, in the 80s we were told like, oh, you could catch it from sitting on a toilet seat, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a really important point, because like the stigma is one of the huge issues with HIV, because these days, if you catch HIV and you catch it early enough, you go to the doctor, they give you medication, and you won't have any symptoms, you can't pass it on to anyone else. You can live the rest of your life normally as long as you take your medication. It's just like a normal thing. Yes. But a lot of people don't understand that. And like you said, think they can still get it just from touching someone, or like sitting in their seat or something stupid like that. But it's just like the only way you would catch it is it from like blood to blood transfusion, something like that. Just very unlikely. So I think that's a lot of the problem. People think just because, oh, I've spoken to that person, I've been really close to that person. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of the study. We are running out of time, so we're going to have to speed through the end of the show here. Matt, you've got a little quiz for us, I believe, before we go. Got a game for you.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so the game is lie, lie, truth. So I'm going to give you 3 things, and you have to tell me which one is the truth. Okay.
Okay.
So, number 1, and they're all about me, so you have to like guess which one is
God.
true.
Oh no.
You can ask me questions about the things as well. Okay. So, number 1, I'm terrified of squirrels. Number 2, I have a GCSE in Italian. Number 3, my middle toes are longer than my big toes.
Gosh.
I think the last one is the truth.
Why do you think that?
Because I think you've got weird feet.
Have you seen Matthew's feet?
No, I haven't. But actually, do you know what? That isn't a rare occurrence. There's a lot of people who have got toes longer in the middle than a big toe. So I think it's a common thing. So yeah, sorry, Matt, you're not very extraordinary. Your toes are like a lot of other people's. But I don't believe that you have a GCSE in Italian.
Gosh.
Well,
He
that's
looks
like
like
Tracy, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I was leaning towards the Italian one, and now you've turned me off that one. I'm horrified to think he doesn't like squirrels. That would just be awful. I mean, who thinks squirrels are scary? Matthew, my goodness! But it's such a strange thing. Perhaps that's what it is. Oh, you've chosen 3 very good ones, Matthew.
Yes.
It could be. Oh,
I'm going to push you for time here, Tracy.
Right, I'm going to go with the GCSE in Italian because squirrels are too cute.
You are correct, Tracy. I do have a GCSE in Italian.
You do not.
Sì, parlo italiano.
Oh, bene! Ciao! Oh, Matthew! How wonderful. Yes. We love it. See, I figured as much because squirrels are just too adorable. Nobody could hate squirrels.
They can be scary, though.
Oh, not at all. Oh, very good. Oh, Matthew, how exciting. We can chat in Italian a little bit. I've got holiday Italian.
It was a long time ago.
Fettuccine, my love. Fettuccine. Right.
It's as good as your French.
I've got 2 more, but since we've got so little time, I will save them for next week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good shout. Oh, I might have to study his Facebook a bit more because there might be some clues on.
I never update Facebook.
Before we disappear for the evening, Tracy, do you have any titty bitties for us?
I don't.
Oh, well, that works out rather well then, because we are running out of time, so that actually works out very well. I will say, though, anybody out there who has a business that they want to promote, do get on to support your local business group on Facebook because everybody's coming together on there, promoting their business, and lots of other people supporting businesses. So this is a really, really good place. If you do have some events going on that are happening online, if you've got some new takeout, new delivery, if you've got some online event at all, then get on there and, well, everybody in Maastricht is going to come together and support you. So please do check that out. And as Tracy mentioned earlier, maastrichter.com has lots of online events on there. So do have a look at that. Well, it's been a cheesy evening. There's been a lot of discussion about cheese. We didn't get to the bottom of is there any decent vegan cheese out there. The jury's still out as in to whether it's made from breast milk or not. We're going to carry this on next week, I'm sure. There's going to be loads of more information coming in over the week about the vegan cheese idea. It's been lovely to be back. We will be back next week. I can't for the life of me remember who it's the English bookstore, I believe.
Bookstore. Yes.
Bookstore that is resident in Maastricht. They will be joining us next week. So have a lovely week, whatever it is that you're doing. Dave Grohl, mwah, happy birthday. I did send a cake, and we shall see you all next week. Thank you to Professor Kai Jonas, and you can catch us again on Facebook Live. The programme will also be on our YouTube channel, and we shall see you next Thursday. Thank you ever so much. Take care. See you next week.
Arrivederci.
Ciao, ciao.